Greetings, dear hearts. It's Miss D from Do It Yourself DTV. It's a beautiful, sunny Saturday afternoon here in Seattle, Washington, and I'm here in the craft room getting ready to do a project that was requested by my granddaughter. She happened to see the rotating supply caddy that I made yesterday, and she loved it. This is what that looks like. And so she thought that it would be lovely if I could create her a rotating um, little vanity for her room. And so I'm going to oblige her in that. So today what's going on in the craft room is Miss D's making a vanity for her granddaughter. If you're interested in seeing how I turn the craft supply holder turntable idea into a vanity for a teenager, come on back and watch the video that's following. I hope to see you there. Hi, I'm really glad you decided to come and see what's going on in the craft room today. Like I said, it will be the vanity that I'm making for my granddaughter Nia. Some of the things that we'll need um, will be the drawers from the dollar store. I'm going to use this wooden box that I had laying around the house for a base. We'll need some of the cake pans from the dollar store, marbles, some little holders, candlestick holders, and little vases or candle holders to load the vanity after we get it all put together. Nia's room is pink and white. Those are her theme colors. So I'm going to use pink ribbon and, of course, a little bling wrap or diamond wrap, which is always something that I use in projects. And so I'm just going to get my drawers turned around to where I can get to my diamond wrap really easy. I'm going to use some diamond gems. I see you have a glare, but some of the diamond gems. Probably a little mirror from the dollar store. And some of the foil paper that I got from the dollar store. So most of our supplies are dollar store supplies. This can be a very inexpensive project. Most of these things I have around the craft room all the time anyway, so this won't cost me anything more than what I've already spent, prior. I'm going to also use some cardboard because it wouldn't be Miss D if she didn't throw a little cardboard into her craft. I'm just trying to make it not so cluttery as we begin the project. Move some of these things out the way. Of course, we're going to use our X-Acto knife, some scissors, and a pencil or a marker. I like marker the most. So those are our supplies. There may be a few other things that I add into the project as I load it, but for now, that's the basics of what we're going to do. So the first thing I want to do is cut out the base for her Lazy Susan. So I'm just going to simply take my cardboard and cut it out about the size that I want, and I'm going to use this dollar store mirror as a pattern to trace out the cardboard. Oh, sorry, try not to blind you with the mirror. That's about the size of what I want her vanity to be. Should fit nicely on her desk. So I'm just going to trace out two pieces the same size. How are you guys doing? Like I said, it's a lovely day here in Seattle. The sun is shining. It's all about 70, 80 degrees. Just a beautiful day. All right, so I have that traced out. I'm just going to cut this panel off. This piece of cardboard is a piece that I'm upcycling. I use this for a project that I took apart, and so I'm just going to reuse it. This will just be the base underneath the vanity piece that I'm making, and I'll be covering it up so it doesn't have to be a pretty piece of cardboard. Using the cardboard takes place of having to buy a piece of wood or anything like that. And so whenever I can, I use cardboard. Okay? So all I have to do now is just simply cut out the pieces of the mirror. I'm going to cut that out and get us ready to begin to glue these together, and I'll come back. So I've got the patterns cut out, and I'm just gluing the boards together. so that we get strength. And I realized that we just did this work when we made the big rotating table, so I wasn't going in a lot of detail to do it, just kind of go ahead and do it. If you need more details, you can refer back to that video, the rotating um, craft supply holder that's on the channel, or you can just leave me an email or a comment requesting that I do a more in-depth detail how to on making this vanity. So I'm lining the boards up to make sure that they're about the same size, or really the same size is what we're going for, so that we have evenness all around, perfect fitting joint. I'm loving this thing rotating. It makes it so easy to deal with supplies and tools. It's a lifesaver and a space saver. Have lots more room. I don't have things all over and not doing a lot of running around to find things. They have a place now, a home. Okay. Just a little bit on this side. I had been worried about the time of my videos, trying to cut it down, but somebody told me that they actually enjoy just hanging out and watching me do what I do, that they find that when I pause and go out and do what I do, that I come back and I've done a little extra. Like sometimes I will embellish when I'm pausing, and like I'm going and I'm just fitting pieces together or something, and I'm really close to the project. I add a few extra embellishments, and then you come back and it's added, and you didn't see me actually add it on. So people are saying that they like to see all the details of what I'm doing. So I will be working faster, and I will pause when it's really just something that's eating time that I know everybody knows how to do, in the interest of the most of us keeping it pretty simple. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I want to make a few strips to get some strength in the inside of her base. I can get this apart, I'm going to take it apart. But it looks like I glued that one on. So we're just going to cut a few strips about the same size each. We'll start here and make them all this size. And we'll use these to be the braces for the inside to make sure that our turntable is good and strong. So I'll finish that up. Okay, so all we have to do now is just take our strips and fold them in half just to make a brace for the inside, and glue them on where we want to be sure that we have stability. Just hold them a second. These are our braces, our supports. Push it down just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So have you been here on YouTube hearing all the talk about the Federal Reserve and how the Pope back in 2016 had passed a bill that freed up the funds that were being used for individuals, and now that people are using the Federal Reserve to pay their bills? It's an interesting debate and happenings that's going on over YouTube the last few days. Some people are reporting that they were able to use their Social Security um, number and their birth certificate to get access to the trust accounts that are being held by the Federal Reserve under your Social Security number. And all these years, that money was there, and it was really yours, ours, and we didn't know anything about it. And big corporations were using that money for their own gain. And so Pope Francis um, got tired of us being lied to, basically, and duped, and freed that money up. And so some people have found out about it, and they've been using that money. They say you only can pay bills right now with it, um, bills like your utility bills, some people's mortgages. They say anything that's tied to the Federal Reserve, that money they've been reporting, it would get paid at first, and then it would reverse, come back. As the Federal Reserve recognized that people were getting hip, they started shutting things down. But it's an interesting something. Just look it up on YouTube a little bit. I don't like to, say a whole lot about the crookedness of things that goes on and all that, but it's definitely worth looking into. All right, I'm just going to continue to glue these all on. I do know that our country is going through a lot right now, and I think about, you know, some of the things that we are watching, how it does kind of make you think of the things you read in the Bible. Although I'm not trying to get religious on anybody, but knowing a little bit of it says some of this stuff was going to happen. Crazy days, crazy days. I hear our president, Donald Trump. Oh, that might be the first time I said that. Our president, but is doing an investigation, trying to see what's going on with the Federal Reserve. Who knows? But it's worth a try. They say just use your Social Security number, and the letter that's attached to it is the routing number um, to the bank where your money is held. Like if you have a A, it's one thing. If you have a B, it's another. I think B is something like New York, and G is something like Atlanta or something. But if you look up those numbers in the federal Reserve's routing number things, it'll tell you whether it's the routing number for the account that's associated with your Social Security card. And so you take the Social Security number, the Social Security letter, get the routing number, and your Social Security number is the account number. And so you think you get access into that Federal Reserve. They say as long as you're not using anything that's attached to a bank, paying off anything that's attached to the banks, because the banks are um, backed or part of the Federal Reserve, so they won't pay out anything from themselves, which makes sense. That's why some things had been reversed. You'll see on YouTube people were saying, I paid it, it showed paid, and then 2 or 3 days later it was reversed. So that's because those companies were owned by the bank, by the Federal Reserve. Anyway, just take a look. I just couldn't sit here and not mention it to my brothers and sisters, because if there's anything to it, we need to check it out. But we might want to check it out fast, because the way things look, we'll probably be having a new system of finance. Because can you imagine if all uh, Americans found out that they've had money all this time, they'd be pulling money out of that Federal Reserve really quick, and you have to shut that baby down. Just word to the wise. Yeah, there's a couple brothers. Um, like there's a guy called Harvey Dent that really was helping people figure it out. A couple other people. There's one thing I did see where this man and this woman named Heather something, and the man named I don't think I have his name right, but it's Doug or something. That they ended up getting arrested, but then they found out that they had been doing other things, not just messing with the Social Security Federal Reserve stuff, but they had some trouble, period, with the law. So it looks like you can give it a whirl and be okay. The worst thing can happen is it gets rejected. You do want to be careful, though, that you don't get a whole bunch of fees, because don't be trying to pull the money out and stuff like that. It's for paying bills, is what they were saying. That otherwise, when it reverses, you have bank fees to pay, and nobody wants a whole bunch of those. Okay, that's our braces. Give us some strength, and then we're just gonna glue the tops on. See how nice and strong that makes that. So we just want to glue the tops all the way around and attach this board. Little secret I learned from Mr. DIY here on YouTube. He's an older Hispanic man that makes some beautiful cardboard items. Get a chance, check his site out. I'm not connected to him or anything, but I love his work. I think he really inspired me to work with cardboard. That man makes dressers and tables, you name it, he makes it, and it comes out so nice, just like it was a piece of wood or something. Just beautiful work. Yeah, I love it when I find other crafters that can inspire me. There's a lot of things that I hadn't experimented with that I do now just because of fellow crafters. So I'm trying to make sure I have this lined up pretty close. Then just press that down. Put a little weight on it. A little bit stick. Any spot I feel that could use some more support, I think I'm going to just make another brace for it. I'm going to fix that up and put the sides on. I'm just simply going to take these sides and put them on, and then I'll come back and we can get to work on this Lazy Susan. I thought I'd pop back in, and I realized that I needed to paint the base a little bit, so I'm lightly painting the wood part that the Lazy Susan is going to sit on, and give it enough time to dry while I do the other parts. So I just want to come in and let you see that's what's going on in the craft room. Giving it a little white paint. Her colors are pink and white in her room. And that'll clean this up a little bit. Just want a little paint right there. Be careful. This is just some paint that I had around the house, painting other projects. Just a little piece of can. It just needs a few little strokes. So I'm sure you have some paint or spray paint around your house that you could use. I don't even think I'm going to paint the top. I'm just going to cover it, I think, with some of the silver paper. Just set that to the side and let it dry. These little Dollar Tree brushes are good for little small projects like this, where you're only going to take a couple strokes and then you're going to be done. You can just throw these away and not worry. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Just clean the brush off with this. This part I'm not going to really paint. I'm going to cover it. Get all the extra paint out of the brush this way. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side and it can dry. It's drying already. That little thin layer I put on there is drying already. Just enough to cover this all we were doing. We're going to probably put bling wrap on it. Cleaning the brush once again on top. Not painting the top, just cleaning the brush, soaking some of that paint out of it. Amazing how much paint getting in sponges that quick. Okay, just let that dry. I'm going to finish the box top and then work on the Lazy Susan. I left one of the sides so that you can see me do the finished part of the box that's going to be on the top of the Lazy Susan. So all I've simply been doing is taking the hot glue, lining it around, and then just adhering the top to it. Make sure all my corners are meeting. Just a little more up in there. Make sure that it's sealed. Adding just a little pressure. Try to make all the connections. And we're going to cover this. Yeah. It's going to be the base. Oops. For a little sanding paper. Thought I had a little piece left out. Okay. I'm just going to sand the side smooth. So when we cover it, we have a smooth surface to work with. This is the time you can snip any edges that aren't meeting straight as you want them. Have one edge that's off just a little bit. So just going to tighten that up. Sand it smooth. I truly do love working with cardboard. I don't even mind sanding. Any other time it would be something I hate. Alright, that feels pretty good. Like I said, we're covering this up. I just want to make sure the surface was smooth. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is work on the Lazy Susan part. And it's simply that. So I'm going to glue the base onto the cardboard. But because we're using the dollar store method where you use two cake tins, if I glue this on, that it will only be one piece on it. So you will always, if you move it, have to remember that it was two separate pieces. And you can't really glue these two together because then you won't get your turning action. So that's the reason I'm going to use the other base. So I'm going to glue the other base to the bottom, this to the top, and at least you'll remember to pick up the base when she's picking up the Lazy Susan. And that'll keep it attached. The one thing I did want to play with was how many marbles to put inside. So right now, I have about half a pan of marbles. And I wanted to see if it made any difference if I had a full pan. Okay, that's about a full pan of marbles. I actually think it slows down the turn. Let's put a little weight on it and see. Yeah, I think the more marbles, the slower it gets. So let's take some of those out. Some of them that's really pretty that you would hate to just bury here. Well, actually, all of them are really pretty marbles. Had marbles in there, but look like I haven't that for. Let's try that again. The one thing I noticed about the dollar store turntable versus the one that I bought at the Lazy Susan part from Amazon is with the dollar store one, you do hear the marbles. With the regular Lazy Susan, you don't. That's a silent glide. But for $1 and to get the same kind of effect, I think it's all right. Okay. Take a few more marbles out and see. It seemed like I was getting a faster glide with less marbles. Yeah, the less marbles, the better the glide. So that feels about right. Those out the way before I spill them everywhere. And I'm thinking I might want to bling the bottom of the pan, or maybe at least put the ribbon on the pan. Let the pink show somewhere. Just measuring how much ribbon I'll need. And I'm wondering if I go around twice, does it get darker? Yeah, so I think I'm going to do enough to go around twice. Or fold it double. around. Okay, dear hearts, here's where we are. We almost done. I glued the cake pan onto the foundation piece. It's been painted, and then I also glued the other cake pan onto the cardboard base that will be the spinning table. We put this one right, glued the top to the bottom. If you can see right here, we glued the whole onto the bottom. This one we glued the bottom to the bottom. That way it can sit inside each other, and we can get our turn. Got some things in the way of the spin. Okay. I've also taken time and started doing the embellishment. We have the bling wrap on the top. We have the ribbon around the cake pan and a few little flower diamonds. I gotta finish up putting the diamonds around the top and glue the cover on. I just pre-cut things so that we can save some time. And then I'm thinking of putting a front face on. I created this look for the front and back. It's just simply some of the gems, the flowers, the bling, and just some silver shimmer sparkle paper. So I'm going to work to finish on up now and let you see what the process looks like. So I'm just covering the box with the diamond wrap. I pre-measured it almost uh, to size. I just need to cut the top, the bottom. So it looks like I need to take about 2 rows off, and that'll be the right size. So that's all you do is you measure your project and then cut the rows to size. So the embellishing you can do any way you want. The decorating, however you feel fit, is how you decorate. The foundation pieces was just getting the base made and getting the cake pans um, functional. So I'm just starting at the corner. Simply going to glue those on so they're my starting space. Then all I do is take some glue along the top and a little bit down the middle and then on the bottom. And then I just pull the wrap into place. Little tap, set it in the glue. And I do a little bit at a time to keep the rows lined up. I'm going to put a little weight on here. I'm putting pressure. Keep it still. I put this black paper down on the craft table, hoping that you could see better. You get such a glare when you're using this much of the diamond wrap that I didn't know if it was coming through on the camera. What I noticed is I could have trimmed a bit more. I might have picked up the wrong piece. I'll do that at the end. Well, since I'm right here, I better get this. Actually, the glue is still hot, so I'll leave it for a minute and just go around and do the other side. Okay, we're finishing up now. I'm just embellishing the load-ons. Put the little pink bling, pink diamond wrap around the brush holder. She can put her makeup brushes in here. I just glued a candlestick holder onto this square vase from the dollar store to make this brush holder. Okay. Just put a little glue in case she wants to pop this up. really trying to make sure that they line up on each other, the stackables. And a lot of sliding. See if that takes. And that's looking pretty nice. She likes candles, so I'll leave a little candle. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it for my granddaughter. It came out really nice, really pretty, really girly. So if you enjoyed and you liked, please subscribe, share, and leave me a comment. Thank you. Have a great day.